Salutations and greetings, everyone. It is I, Dezire, once again here to cover our least favorite Nintendo fanboy, that 55-year-old HarmanSmith. But any hoosers, let's get into that beautiful salt content!
Right now, we're in the middle of, I think, kind of a cope cycle when it comes to the Nintendo Switch 2 and how it's being received. Because it's pretty self-evident if you actually go out and talk to people who play games that everyone's really excited for this thing.
Oh, wait, you're serious? Let me laugh even harder.
Now I'm gonna play a video here that's gonna show exactly opposite there, Harman. I have to change the background music because it's Curb Your Enthusiasm, and I do not wish to be copyrighted. Constantly throughout it, you're gonna see drop the price. Yeah, your total real fans are totally not your made-up ones you have in real life, you weird, creepy bastard. Harman, just for once, do some research, because it took me 5 seconds to find this. 5 seconds of somebody recording the fact that it was just drop the price spammed for a good 37 seconds. 37! And that's at the end of it. How much do you want to bet it was even more? Because the guy was able to take out his phone and start recording it.
People are eagerly anticipating its release. People are looking forward to games like Silk Song.
Wait a minute!
Didn't you say that you didn't like Xbox Game Pass because of its library?
Canceled my Xbox Game Pass subscription because I had a lot of problems with it. Like, I didn't like their library.
Yet here you are, loving a game that's on Game Pass because it's on Nintendo. Huh, I'm starting to think all the Salt Tubers are correct. If it goes to Nintendo, you instantly start loving it. But if it's not on Nintendo, it's instantly trying to take Nintendo down. It's terrible. Nobody plays those games. I bet money that you're gonna start fucking saying Elden Ring's amazing. I bet money.
You know, they're looking forward to games like Mario Kart World.
We're going to make so much money.
I couldn't help but notice that you're a bitch.
There are 3 guarantees of life. The end game, taxes, and HarmanSmith fucking shilling for Nintendo. Harman, they're charging $80 for Forza Horizon type shit. And then they're asking for money for a fucking feature on your controllers. That game looks okay for $50. For $80, it's not even in the fucking ballpark. Nobody is saying, oh, it's such a good game, outside of Nintendo fanboys like yourself. Which I'm sorry, but there's very little Nintendo fanboys right now, because they're realizing they're getting fucked over. But oh no, we don't know what we're talking about. This fucking idiot. The fact that you are in your 50s and saying this is fucking insane to me.
Like Street Fighter 6 on Nintendo Switch, like either Donkey Kong Bonanza. You know, this is clearly going to do really well day one, and yet we still have this like really awkward like kind of refusal from the community to kind of admit it.
Harman, remember in the last video I covered on you that the backlash that Nintendo is getting per 2 former PR people is a crisis situation? No, I remember that. Or the fact that they had backlash for the 3DS and the fucking Wii U, and it's never been as big as it is right now. That's a pretty big fucking deal. But what can I expect? You can't understand certain things. Hell, you think that Hitler is based. And before you're like, oh, this maybe is not his account, I can assure you, this is most definitely his account. Because nobody else would want to be associated with that PDF file book known as Playing Dirty.
Like that's just the reality of what we're seeing here, is that Nintendo essentially has monopolized gaming.
You serious?
You have any numbers to support your claim, Harman? No! Well, I have numbers that say otherwise. Nintendo active users not updated since June 2024, 128 million. Meanwhile, Steam's monthly active users, 147 million as of the first quarter of this year. Thus, 19 million more users are on Steam. Meanwhile, Steam is not the only PC store. There's also Epic Games launchers, Battle.gg, GOG, Microsoft Store, etc., etc. I think Uplay still exists and EA Play still has their thing. I don't know. I don't really care. Harmon, you can't claim something as a monopoly if it's A, not the most in said genre, and B, not the only thing in said genre, or a majority of said thing in said genre. As a matter of fact, for it to be a monopoly, Xbox, PC gaming, and Sony need to not exist. Or if you want to say, well, it's a console monopoly, Sony and Xbox need to stop making Xboxes and PlayStations.
You know, one of the examples I go to a lot is the PlayStation, right? You know, the narrative back then was that like, oh, you go to PlayStation for the RPGs. But Nintendo had Pokemon.
Yeah, one whole RPG and you're trying to compare Pokemon to games like fucking Final Fantasy. It's not even comparable. I'll take Final Fantasy and all the other RPGs that PlayStation had over Nintendo's one RPG it had. Like, what are you talking about? In your own statement, you're saying RPGs, so more than one versus one. Wow. Is that even comparable, you fucking idiot? And I swear to you, if he disrespects Final Fantasy VII like he has a tendency of doing, I will flip shit.
But like it was written off and ignored and treated as its own thing, while people like worshipped Final Fantasy VII and put it on a pedestal that it really, to a certain extent, did not really deserve.
You shut your mouth, you bastard! Who is fat?
Harmon, why do you insist on disrespecting some very good fucking games? I don't fucking understand it. I didn't even enjoy the game when it released because I never played it, but I have played it recently, and I gotta tell you, Final Fantasy VII is fucking amazing. Why do you insist on disrespecting anything that is not a Nintendo game? Why? I just don't understand it.
There were better games on Nintendo 64 and Game Boy that were way better than the PlayStation.
Do you even process what you say before you say it? Because you sound fucking stupid.
Yes, there's nothing more delusional than saying there were better games that were way better. Yes, that's totally true, Harmon. Good God. Dude, the brain rot you have is insane. Yes, Metal Gear was on both consoles. However, I'll take Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy IX, the original Crash Bandicoot, Crash Bandicoot 2, Spyro, and Spyro 2. I'll take all of those. Granted, my favorite console is the PS2, and I don't even think any Nintendo console even comes comparable to that console. PS2 is the best console ever. Second being the 360. It's not even comparable, Harmon. Why are you this fucking stupid? Why can you just say, Nintendo's always been better, but then you just fucking shit the bed when you talk, every time?
Nintendo made more money than PlayStation during that period.
Stop the cap.
Oh, Harmon, you sweet, ignorant idiot. All right, let's break down the numbers. Nintendo 64, considered a failure, hit $1.2 billion in profit. All right, well, how did Sony's PlayStation 1 do? A good old-fashioned $2 billion in 1996. And not just any 1996, early 1996 it grossed that. Meanwhile, the PS2 obviously was more successful. This was PlayStation's first ever gaming console and is still considered to be a phenomenal console. I barely played it because I was born in 98. But you can't just sit there and talk shit when you're 50 years old. You live through it, and you get disproven by a simple Google search. Like, do you know how sad it is that you constantly get caught in lies?
And this is something that people who gush about console sales and software sales don't really understand, is that the hardware and software sales for PlayStation are fake.
That's rich. Go on.
And Nintendo made more money in spite of the commonly touted claims that PlayStation was far more popular.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong.
You know, I don't really like to use grok at all. However, we're going to use grok here. What year did Sony stocks become publicly traded? 1958. So they couldn't have lied about their sales numbers, you fucking moron, or they would get sued to oblivion. Also, who made more money in 1996? PlayStation or Nintendo? Oh, and before anyone says, why are you using 1996? It's because that's when the Nintendo 64 came out. PlayStation made $5 billion and Nintendo made $3.2 billion. I think that's a pretty cut and dry fucking question, isn't it, Harman? But no, they had to lie. Jesus Christ, you're so damn dumb. It's fucking sad.
You know, it's going to result in the same thing that happened when I was a kid, right? Where, you know, I grew up playing like, you know, all these different games from all these different companies, you know. I had a gaming PC, I had like all this stuff. And then like I leaned towards Nintendo stuff because I realized it was better and I liked it more.
I must defend Nintendo. Oh, Nintendo, please put my teeth on the curb and stomp me out. Oh, God. It will make me so happy. Like, what the fuck? You're like Chris Chan to Nintendo at this point, you creepy bastard. The hell are you talking about? Yes, it's so much better. That makes a whole lot of sense for a fucking Nintendo fanboy like you.
Like recently I had this experience with Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Where like I got into trading cards because I wanted to play Yu-Gi-Oh again. And then I slowly realized that like in a lot of ways, the Pokemon TCG is better.
What? Pokemon TCG is nothing like Yu-Gi-Oh! They're completely separate games. Like, what the fuck? That's like saying Magic the Gathering is TCG. Like, what the fuck? You can't compare them, you moron! What type of fucking shit are you talking about? Oh my god. You're so fucking dumb. It's killing me.
The age-old cope of acting like, you know, there's nothing for me to play on Nintendo consoles. They don't make games for the serious gamer. It's just nothing but a cope from people who really don't know anything about the company to begin with.
What?
I'm gonna blow your mind real quick because I don't understand how dumb you are. The most played game right now is Call of Duty, even though it sucks. Okay? Is Call of Duty on Nintendo? No! How fucking stupid can you be? Nintendo is centered on family gaming. Is there some games that are not designed for families? Well, of course there is. However, majority of their games are family-friendly games, such as the Mario IP, the Legend of Zelda IP. Like, come on, bro. And that's not hating on Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, and Breath of the Wild. I've heard a lot of good things about. I'm personally not interested in puzzle games, so I won't play them.
Like, we're at the point now where, like, you know, millennials are aging, and all of their old copes are just kind of falling by the wayside, you know? Like, you know, one of the ones I grew up with, you know, the idea that, like, New Super Mario Bros. Is basic, you know, it completely fell apart.
When you're comparing games like Fortnite to games like Mario, where you have to constantly be moving and you're facing other people, versus AI in a 2D platform where they move the exact same ways constantly and you can watch their pattern, it's pretty easy to tell that a platformer is basic compared to that, Harman. How dumb are you? And there's no hatred on your platformers if you're a platformer fan. The problem is you're comparing a 2D game versus a 3D game, and in said 3D game, you're also facing real people, and it's very hard and challenging. I'm not even a Fortnite fan, and I understand that. How do you not?
You know, people demonize the art style to those games. You know, they created this like narrative that Nintendo was afraid of innovation and change. And what happens? You know, they put out Mario Wonder.
You went full retard, man.
The main fucking difference from Wonder to the other games is obviously they have different powers, but it's the talking little plants. That is it. Like what? Oh, they innovated. Not really. No. What, the Wonder Seeds where you got like this weird background? Kind of the same things you'd get in the other Marios? Okay. and you have your own powers? Bro, it's just powers. Like, what? It's not a good example. That's not a good example at all.
They put out Odyssey. They put out like Donkey Kong Bonanza, you know, like Brothership. You know, all these games that took like a whole lot of risks.
Mr. Roboto is lying to us.
Tell me something I don't know.
I open mouth kissed a horse once.
Super Mario Odyssey is just Super Mario 64 with the ability of transferring consciousness to any NPC that you throw your hat at. Like, what? And then you have fucking, what? You're trying to say Mario and Luigi Brothership? That's just Mario RPG. Super Mario RPG. That's not really innovating. Now, Bonanza's Deep Rock Galactic kind of ish without the bugs. So that's kind of innovative because they've never done that before. If I'm not mistaken, I could be. I don't know. I'm not really a Donkey Kong player. But you can't really compare the other two and say, oh, they're so innovative if they've done nothing new, really. Innovative would be, let's say, for instance, you take a Mario game and you make it a shooter like Splatoon. Oh, you like to say Splatoon. Like there's two T's, but it's Splatoon. There's only one. Come on, guy. Keep up. There's a quiz.
This process is just going to repeat itself. You know, people are going to invent some kind of narrative to throw against Nintendo, to try and demonize them, to try and hate them. And it's just completely going to fall apart.
They are charging $80 for games that are not worth $80. Otherwise, they would bundle the game and fucking console for $530 instead of $500. They are overcharging for other products like their Pro Controller, for example. They're charging money for game chat when I could just use Discord for free, and it makes your gameplay smaller, and you have to deal with those little fucking cubes, which is just going to be terrible. They have a fucking camera that doesn't even see melanin, and you're like, it's so good to be here because Nintendo is the best. You are the definition of what is wrong with this gaming industry as a whole, because anything that they do, it doesn't matter how much they fuck you over, you're gonna defend it, and it's fucking absurd. Oh my God, if you don't change in your next fucking sentence, I'm gonna lay into you more, and it's gonna be the end of it.
The reality is, like, there is fundamentally nothing wrong with Nintendo as a company.
What?
So when Doug Bowser said, if you don't like this, buy the Switch 1 and we're going to keep supporting the Switch 1, if that was true, Donkey Kong Bonanza and Mario Kart Worlds would come out on the Switch too, wouldn't they? No, they didn't end up coming to it, and they're not going to. It would seem like they're saying, fuck you if you don't like our prices. But what do I know? I just pay attention. You're too fucking busy looking at them with rose-tinted glasses to understand the simplest things that Nintendo doesn't give a fuck about you, and they're just gonna fucking keep fucking you over because people are so damn stupid, they'll keep buying it like you.
People were throwing out allegations about Pokemon not being up to snuff.
I'm not happy, Bob. Not happy.
Scarlet and Violet is the worst fucking Pokemon games I've ever had the displeasure of playing. There's so many frame drops, so many lag spikes, so many times where you couldn't even tell if they were shiny because there was no sound, no nothing. The game is terrible. And that being said, we also had Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield was terrible. Instead of nice, intricate designs, multiple areas, it was just a decal on the floor. That is sad. We went from having all these areas having their own special and unique backdrops on the 3DS and DS to this game that just fucking said fuck you and didn't make anything. We also had the Let's Go series was fine. BDSP, nobody wanted the chibis. Nobody. Hell, they didn't even use any of the updates that Platinum did that was for the better, like having more fire types in the game. And you have the nerve to tell me that Pokemon on the Switch generation was good? Fuck no. The only one that was okay was Arceus, but it still had frame drops.
Just recently, you had a bunch of people trying to create this controversy over the way like Pokemon Legends ZA looks, and then meanwhile we get the Nintendo Switch 2 version of the game, which looks like phenomenal.
Enough from the clown.
Okay, you know what? I'll bite. This is exactly how it looks from the Switch to the Switch 2. All you see in difference for the Switch 2, higher resolution and better frames. Wow, it's totally different. Like, what the fuck? It looks not that good, guy. I'm sorry that hurts your feelings that you're like, but it looks so good. It really doesn't. It's just a higher resolution of the same damn thing on the Switch with better frames. How dumb are you, bro? I don't understand how in the name of Sam Hell you can sit there and say, well, it's so new, and then get disproven every single fucking time. Oh my God. Thankfully, this is the final time I am covering you this week, because holy shit, that was fucking stupid. And yes, I know this video was a couple days old, but I was in the middle of coming back home and watching WrestleMania. And yes, I'm back home, everybody. So there should be maybe more Salt content. It depends. I might consider going back to my old job. And if that does happen when I start working 16s again, I won't be able to do that. But any Hoosers, I do hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and comment. Also consider subscribing. After all, I do make new content every single day.